I'm Amber Gunst. I'm the CEO of Austin Technology Council. We're very excited to do this this hiring webinar with eBay. They have several recs open here in the Austin market, and they're looking for talented developers to come and join their team. I am going to pass everything off to Tola Dalton now, who will go through the process and talk about the recs and the roles, and we'll be able to provide some information and introductions to everyone after this. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Amber. And let me first say thank you to the Austin Technology Council for having us today. It's great to have an opportunity to talk about eBay and to talk about some big recruiting that we're doing in the Austin area. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen here. So yeah, thanks once again for having us. It's great to have the opportunity. So I am Tola Dalton. I lead identity engineering from eBay. And we have with me here, we have Ashish Jain, Suresh Chinnatambi, Veronica Kramer, and Scott Sharp. So these are all leaders from the payments, risk, identity, and trust areas of eBay, which are all in the larger payments org. We'll talk a whole lot more about payments coming up, but let me start at the beginning. So, most people are familiar with eBay, but for anyone who's not, we are a global marketplace. We operate in over 195 markets internationally. We have 180 plus million active users, and we have new and used items in a variety of buying formats, from buy it now to auction formats. And basically, we connect buyers and sellers of all sizes to form this massive marketplace. So eBay has been around for something like 25 years now, and going as strong as ever. To give you a little bit of an idea by the numbers, and also maybe to dispel some common misconceptions about eBay. So we have about 1.4 billion live listings, and for anyone who thinks eBay is just a garage sale marketplace for used stuff, actually 80% of our items on the site are new. We also do really well at fast and free shipping. 72% of items on eBay ship for free, and 2/3 of all packages in the US are delivered within 3 business days or less. So eBay is pretty up there with e-commerce standards for new items that way. So eBay also really helps sellers reach the world. 96% of US eBay small business sellers export to other markets. And, one of the things that really keeps me here at eBay, I've been here for coming up on 19 years, and really find that eBay has a great culture and a really inspiring purpose. We enable commerce, remove barriers, and enable really thousands of people to make their living off eBay. So that, that purpose, and the fact that everything you do working on eBay applications has the potential to touch millions of people is something that I think is unique. It keeps me here, and it's something that that we can offer to really anyone who chooses to work for eBay. So let me talk about payments a little bit, because what brings us to the great amount of hiring we're doing in Austin is the fact that eBay is starting its journey to become a payments company. So in the past, eBay relied on PayPal for a payments infrastructure. A few years ago, eBay and PayPal split into 2 different companies, and this gives eBay the opportunity to build our own payments infrastructure, which is a big deal about really evolving into not only an e-commerce company, but a payments company as well. This means building out a lot of infrastructure in terms of payments itself, but also a lot of anti-fraud infrastructure to support payments. So we're also really streamlining the payments experience. If you look at what this means to eBay buyers and sellers, then eBay the past, basically everything was done through PayPal, and that really restricted us in terms of the experience that we could offer to buyer and sellers. The buyer could only use the payment methods that the seller offered, PayPal, credit card, etc. Now, eBay will be fully intermediating payments, meaning that the buyer will choose how they want to pay, including new methods like Apple Pay, and the seller will choose how they want to get their money. Those don't need to be the same. Everybody chooses, and eBay's in the middle intermediating the payments, so everybody gets to have the best experience. So far, with our limited rollout of payments so far, this is what we're hearing. People definitely like the change. In terms of where we are on this journey, so we're really in the middle of a 4+ year journey at this point. eBay announced Managed Payments Initiative in 2018. We're currently in parts of the US and Germany market, and we're expanding aggressively this year and into 2021 and beyond. So this is a really key time to be able to be joining this journey. So speaking of which, this is who we need. We need people in many different roles: payment operations, program project management, product management, and especially engineering. So especially people who know NodeJS on the front end, Java J2EE based services on the back end, QE engineers who are well versed in automation, and folks who want to work on Kafka, Spring, Flink, Elasticsearch, and a lot of these technologies. We need you. And we are hiring many Scrum teams in the Austin area, about 45 people in engineering alone. So a little bit more about the Austin team. This is the current Austin team. We are a pretty large office with about 200 payments teammates already there. It's an easy commute just north of town. And as you can see, the team likes to have a lot of fun. Now, for a few minutes before I turn to Q&A, I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into a few of the engineering teams that we'll be hiring in Austin. So I lead the identity team. We'll also go into the risk team and the trust team, who are starting teams out of Austin as well. So let me talk about identity, and then a couple of our other leaders in those teams will talk about their areas. So identity engineering runs authentication, registration, and account management. So those are the front-end flows like sign-in, registration, that you know from many websites, but also a lot of back-end services and platform components behind those. One of the really great things about the identity products are millions of people use them every day. Everybody has to sign in, and you get to work on products that are really high volume and have great engineering kind of problems to work on. A little bit of a smattering of projects that we've released recently that we're proud of. Login with social, Facebook and Google, soon to be released Apple ID. Biometric authentication is really growing, and eBay's on the forefront of that with protocols like WebAuthn, phone-based registration, and some API-based token auth. Just kind of to give you an idea of the type of projects that you'll work on in identity. We are hiring 2 whole Scrum teams in Austin, and super excited about getting going and having parts of identity owned out of Austin. So at this point, let me go to risk engineering, and I will go ahead and turn it over to Veronica Kramer, who can tell you more.
Okay, so while Suresh is setting up, let me add some more color to what Tola was saying. In between risk, trust, and identity, all the teams we are very actively hiring in Austin. We already have a big size team in San Jose, and we also have a few members in Shanghai. And we feel that something as critical as risk and trust and identity, we do need to have a global presence. Hence, we believe Austin has the right amount of talent pool that we are looking after. So, okay, so Suresh and Veronica, any one of you, if you're able to get your slides, please go ahead.
Hello, guys. I'm Suresh Chinnathambi. I lead the trust engineering team. Thanks Tola for the nice intro about everything that we are doing at eBay, as well as the focus for payments initiative. On the trust side, our primary goal or the mission is to make sure the buyers and sellers can transact on the platform with complete confidence. So we have suite of products, one category like seller performance management products, which includes standards, feedback, and service metric, those type of products. So part of seller management, we evaluate all the 25 plus million active sellers every day. And we also evaluate all the listings that are coming, are getting revised every day. It's about like 300 plus million revisions or new listings every day. So we evaluate and then we flag the listings for top rated. So we show the badge in search and we provide discounts. And that's about the seller performance management. On the also we have another set of products. It's called post-transactional experience or after-sales experience. So that's basically it takes care of if you want to cancel a transaction or if you want to return, or if you have any issue, you want to file a claim. Then we have a system called eBay Money Back Guarantee, and we are also building a brand new payment dispute system for payments initiative. So we have a lot of products, part of trust. The whole purpose is to make sure that both buyers and sellers can transact with complete confidence. In terms of the technology, as Tola mentioned, that we have front end and then back end. We use Node for front end, and for back end, a lot of it REST APIs. Oracle RDBMS database, and some NoSQL databases, and even Elasticsearch for some sort of loggings. And we also have a mobile development team that we're just building. We are expanding in Austin. Like Tola said, we are hiring one Scrum team for trust in Austin, which is primarily going to focus on eBay Money Back Guarantee area. And the focus for 2020 is going to be primarily on launching our after-sales experience to global market. Also, we are making a lot of changes to support refunds for the new payments initiative. And we are building a brand new payment dispute experience for the payments initiative. So a high level, it's a full stack experience. Like, we have opportunities at all levels. From senior to recent college grad, anyone interested, you can. The information is given at the end. You can send us you can provide your profile or reach out to us, or you can apply to our recs. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Suresh.
The next is going to be Veronica, I think. Yeah.
Yes, next up we'll have Veronica for risk, and there, hopefully you guys can see my screen again on the risk slide.
Yes.
Veronica, can you hear us? Okay, let's give Veronica a few seconds, see if we can hear her audio. We can't hear you so far, Veronica.
Okay, so while she's figuring out how to come in, maybe I can start the discussion. So risk, when we look at risk, is the underlying infrastructure and foundation that we use when we collect a lot of data throughout the sign-in process as the customer goes through the checkout journey, given what they are doing at the moment and what we know about them from their past history. So we take all of that data and we have built, and in the process of building a very comprehensive decision engine where we can decide whether or not this person should go through, whether or not we should ask for additional challenge. In terms of volume, if you think about it, we are one of the largest e-commerce providers in the world. So the amount of scale that we get to see, some of that is listed on the screen here. which is, we get about 100 billion a day of the database hits. The risk evaluation, where we do that at multiple checkpoints, at the sign-in time, at the checkout time, at the shipping time. That is about 700 million a day globally. And in order for us to do that, not only we have built a very comprehensive detection engine across the user experience, we have also in the process of building a common data layer where we can aggregate all their data and do some ML modeling to detect whether or not this is the appropriate transaction to go through. So in terms of technology, you will see a bunch of data pipeline, whether it's Kafka or Flink and multiple databases. And on the front end, you will see the same thing to integrate with the experience that both Tola and Suresh talked about, identity and also into trust. So in between the three teams, if you think about it, not only we have the experience around front-end experience, how to make it secure and delightful. At the same time, we have some data management and data science type of positions, and an identity kind of combines the two by both back-end and front-end. I think we mentioned it earlier. We are looking for front-end, back-end, full stack data science engineer across multiple teams, and we believe Austin is the right talent pool for us to continue to expand going forward. As eBay, we continue to grow, given we have just undertaken the payment intermediation as a big initiative for our company. Okay, so at that point, I'll pause, and I want to say that if any one of you, irrespective of your level, based on the qualifications and the software stack that we mentioned earlier in the slide, if you have any interest, please reach out to the email address on the slide right now, which is Joseph Oliver, and he is helping us coordinate how we hire more actively in Austin. Okay, I'm going to pause here for a second. Any questions from the audience, or Amber, if you want to add any more feedback here?
Well, actually, I do have some questions. So I used to be a third-party recruiter, so I'm going to geek out on you guys a little bit and ask some questions that, usually we'd want to get answers for candidates with my former job. So when you're looking at automation, are there any specific scripting languages? Are there any specific tools within automation that you're focused on that is helpful for candidates to have a familiarity around when looking at these roles?
Absolutely. Tola, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. I mean, in general, what we're looking at is that you're good at Java-based automation. We have tools and frameworks that we use, but anyone who is well-versed at writing automation testing scripts using the Java language is great. Yeah,
tools like TestNG, Sonar, all those, will be useful here.
Great. So I'm going to ask about 3 skills that are important for this, but the first 3 skills I want to know about are, what are the hard skills that are just important for people to have? I mean, outside of the NodeJS and the Java and everything else, what are 3 hard skills that maybe you didn't bring up in the slides that are important for you as you're building this team out?
Suresh, you want to take that one first, and then I'll jump in?
So in terms of hard skills, I think it's mostly it's a Java stack. So that's pretty much, I would say. But we are a strong believer of if you don't know Java, but you are good with other language. But we are okay with people. We trust that people can pick it up other languages. But I would say it's a Java based. In terms of database, we use relational databases heavily, but we are also moving towards a lot of NoSQL databases. In some cases, MongoDB and Memcache for caching. And also on the front end side, apart from Node, people who are knowing HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. I think those would be good hard skills to have. But again, like I said, if it's a front end, we would look for something specific skills. If it's a back end, then we look for certain specific skills. So we and then full stack is in some cases is okay. So that's what I would say at a high level. I don't know, Tola, maybe Veronica, if you guys want to add in.
I think you covered it very well, Suresh. That basically that overall background, I think, is good for any of these three teams. One thing that's a big plus, but not needed in the identity teams, if you have a little bit of security background, since authentication and things like that. Some of our backend services are security based. Yeah, like you said, relational databases, but also NoSQL DB are both ones we work in, and e-commerce or high volume website experience is also a plus, but not required.
Great.
I would add to that.
Go ahead, Veronica. Go ahead.
I would add to that on the side, as you might be aware, that we are very data-driven application. A lot of information that we need to aggregate, crunch, and made available for the decisions. So all the applications that have to deal with data, either transitioning or aggregation, is also very core to these skills of Flink. Kafka are very useful. We also have our homegrown messaging systems. So if you have any prior experience in this area, it's also very much welcomed. So, but as Suresh and Tola said, so the rest of the stack is somewhat similar in risk as well.
Well, good. So now hard skills are important, but soft skills, especially when you're working in teams and you're building teams, you're building 3 teams out here. What are some of the soft skills that are really key that you're looking for in candidates?
Well, I'll go first. I think it's probably true from all of our teams that we're hiring candidates of all levels. And, in addition to the obvious kind of technical skills, as you get into the more senior levels, communication and collaboration is key, especially, since the team, the core teams are based in San Jose, and we're building out Austin teams. You're going to be talking with the San Jose and the other Austin teams constantly. Having said that, I do want to emphasize that we're seeing Austin as a center of excellence that will own entire products. So you're going to have a chance to not just be a satellite team, you're going to own products, but we work very collaboratively between our Scrum teams in identity, trust, and risk. And we really value folks that are good at tight communication, just reaching out and talking to people at the right time, and then really rallying teams together to accomplish a goal. So that would be is just really good collaborators.
I'll add to what Tola said. I think so. eBay has a very strong culture and value systems that we really, really appreciate. And if you think about it, so by the way, my name is Ashish, and I've only been at eBay for about 18 months, but other people on the panel, Tola, Veronica, and Suresh, they all have been here for 10 plus years. In fact, I think Tola and Veronica has been here for 18 plus years. That kind of tells you how much eBay cares for its employees and how much the employees would like to stick around. And in order to do that, this idea behind innovation and around courage and around collaboration is very, very critical to eBay. So in terms of the soft skills, we want to attract the type of people who are here for the long haul, would love to learn, would have the courage, and we want to make sure we provide the environment where they are able to grow both professionally and personally. And you will have a great time doing it.
That's a great point, Ashish. So when I did recruiting, one of the top reasons that we could pull people out of companies was there was not a lot of growth opportunity. And I'm presuming that Tola and Veronica, you guys are still there because you had the opportunity to grow with the company. Can you share a little bit about the opportunity in Suresh as well? I mean, 10 plus years, that's a lot of time. Can you talk a little bit about what the growth opportunities are with eBay and the opportunity to expand? And sometimes growth isn't, I'm going to become a CIO or a CTO someday. Sometimes it's, I started out doing this, then I moved over and I got to learn how to do this, and then I got to build a skill set out over here as well.
Yeah. maybe I can start with a little bit here. So Amber, so I started as an engineer here at eBay. So I feel like I grew up here. I started in a billing domain. I spent a couple of years, and then I after that I moved on to pricing. So that usually like we work closely with the selling team, and we built a lot of a platform there. I spent a few years. Then I got an opportunity to move to payments, where I spent a couple of years in payments. Then after that, I got an opportunity to move to risk, where I spent another like 2 to 3 years in risk. And then the last 3 years, I've been leading trust engineering. So during this time, I started as a software engineer to the current level, director of engineering, leading trust engineering. So I got 2 opportunities. One, I got to work with the different domains, different opportunities, and also eBay provided me a great growth opportunity, from IC to management, further growth in the management as well. So that's if you even though it's one company, I felt like I work completely in different spaces. So I can understand if somebody talks about risk or payments, or you talk about pricing, you talk about trust. So I think the opportunities that I got is unbelievable. So anyone who is out there, who is looking for similar opportunities, I think eBay can be a great place. Of course, Tola and Veronica, I guess feel free to add more.
I guess
so we are. Go ahead, Veronica.
I just want to add and reflect on what Ashish just said. I think eBay is a great company with many different opportunities. And I think part of the culture to be courageous, to put yourself out, to investigate new dimensions, and it all leads to opportunities and career growth. So by all means, I think it is a great company to be with.
You guys make me want to learn JavaScript or Java and NodeJS tonight. So I might get on YouTube and see if I can figure some stuff out. So let's talk a little bit about the interview process, because clearly with COVID-19, you're not going to be having people come through the process. And I know the first step is to get in touch with Joseph and to start going through that. But what is kind of your interview process looking like right now with COVID-19 and not being able to bring people in and do the typical culture interviews?
Yeah, we're learning to do this virtually, learning new things as everyone is now. But I'd have to say it's we're not really missing a beat doing it. So our typical interview process is we have kind of a first round phone screen or video interview, and then candidates who do well at that, we do a little bit more the full round interview. But we're trying to, make this a streamlined process as possible, all virtual, of course, now. So we'll do a video conference interview using some good kind of tools that let us actually see your code and run your code right in the interview. And then same thing for the full round. For many positions, the full round is just, one round talking with 3 or 4 people. And then at that point, if we want to go further, then we can make offers and actually have people start virtually. We'll see how long this thing goes, but we're managing to make do and build a strong team nonetheless.
Beauty of automation all the way around. So one last question, because we did go a few minutes over, but we started a few minutes late, so I think it evened itself out. What is your timeline to want to get these teams up and running? And what's kind of that? There are a lot of people in Austin looking for jobs. And so what's kind of the timeline that you all are looking for?
Tomorrow.
I want to say yesterday.
Okay. Last week.
Exactly. So I think we are very actively looking. We have some aggressive targets in front of us. And this is a very energetic, engaging team. And, we have a huge backlog. So we are very, very actively looking for people. So yesterday would have been better, but we will take tomorrow.
Wonderful. Well, good. And everybody kind of agrees it was maybe last week, last month, last year sort of thing, but actively looking right now. Well, we are very excited about these opportunities with eBay and very excited to see these teams grow here in Austin. Once again, you can get a hold of Joseph Oliver and his email address we will get out to everyone in a follow-up email after this event is over. And we will also get a copy of the recording as well, so that if anybody has questions or they want to go back and look at a slide and confirm that they've got a certain skill set, or if they just have questions, we can get you in contact with the team. If you have any questions and need to get a hold of ATC directly, you can email us at info@austintechnologycouncil.org. Again, that's info@austintechnologycouncil.org. We will be having more of these programs with eBay, and we are going to actively help them find as many people as they possibly can. If you would like to get a head start on this, they do have all of these job listings posted on the Austin Technology Council website on our job board, and you can go and start putting that together there. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. We look forward to seeing you all when COVID-19 has passed us by and we can get together in person again. I hope you are all staying very safe, washing your hands a lot, and maybe you need to go on eBay tonight and see if you can buy some face masks. So thank you so much. Everybody take care, and we look forward to seeing you in person soon.
Thank you very much
for the opportunity.